Well, that was all pretty straightforward so far. Now let's hope the baggage has arrived. This is it. This is Cairo. Very straightforward ride from the airport. Took no longer than 40 minutes. And this is my room. Compact and bijou, but with a view that takes some beating. This is the view from my balcony. Wow, how about that? That takes some beating. Well, I was out there for about an hour trying to locate the entrance for tomorrow's visit. It is madder than India out there. Much more difficult to negotiate your way around. You can't go more than 50 metres without somebody approaching you, brazenly asking for money. They'll latch onto you, follow you around. And you just have to not engage in conversation with them. Anyway, I'm going to have another go tomorrow morning. It's down there amongst a maze of alleyways. It's no more than a 5-minute walk, apparently. Already after about an hour out there, walking around these streets, throat feels pretty clogged. The dust is pretty intense. Interesting concept. Never seen that before. A key lock on the inside of the shower cubicle so that you can prevent the person that you've been sleeping with seeing you naked, presumably. It's another fine day. Beautiful morning here in noisy Cairo. Hasn't reached peak noise yet, but it will do. Let's see if I can find the entrance. Yes. Thank you very much. Let's tuck in. Yes, this is the way. It's very quiet this morning. What's today? Saturday. Not at all bustling like it was yesterday when I tried to find this way to the pyramid's entrance. There's a left turn here. Followed by a right. And then we're halfway there. Hello, Puss. You all right? Well, that's it. I'm finally in. And here comes a scammer towards me. One of the things you find you're warned about once you've got in by using your ticket, people will stop you and ask you for your ticket again, even though they're not official. What they hope to gain from that, I have no idea. Well, there are the pyramids, close up. Let's go and get a bit closer. Well, it was quite a scrum to get in. I was so paranoid that I was even reluctant to hand my online ticket over to a guy who was an official security guy. And I'm just being interrupted here by somebody, very rude. And
you know how much?
So what I was saying was,
Very cheap,
and he's still persisting. So the best thing to do in this case is just completely ignore them. Very, very rude. So yeah, the warnings were to be very careful about being approached by anyone. All the way up this hill they want you to. rent one of their camels so you can ride up it in ease. So this one here is something called the Great Pyramid, I do believe. Unfortunately, I left both my pairs of trainers in the hotel room in Larnaca, so it's goodbye to them. So it's a bit tricky walking in all this sandy environment without them. I might actually pretend I'm German next time one of them approaches me to engage in conversation.
No, please, I'd like to do this one. Can I go? No, I don't want.
I'm very tempted to climb it, but you'd get thrown out if you tried, I think. So, content at the moment just to sit on the bottom rock. Yeah, just been told by a guard, sorry, no climbing. Very polite. But, obviously the dog hasn't heard. It's probably about a quarter of the way up. And off he goes. You be careful. Dog on a pyramid. Another thing to watch out for apparently is being approached by people asking if you want them to take your photograph for you with your camera, and then to get your camera back off them you need to pay them a little dividend. Menkaure, that's the pyramid that I've got a ticket to get inside. So let's take a look at that now. That's the city, a bit of a morning haze, a bit of smog. Oh, sand. Who knew there'd be so much sand in Egypt? Right, in we go. First thing to do is duck your head. Whoa. Jeez, hands and knees nearly. Oh, Jesus Christ. Quite a steep entry slope, quite a slippery surface as well. The ceiling here is about 3 feet high. This place is why everyone's taking photographs. Well, that was Menkaure's burial chamber, the guy that built this pyramid for his impending death. So that's where he was actually laid to rest all those years ago, 4,000 years ago. God, it's so hot in this humidity. I'm sweating. Well, that was the inside of Menkaure's burial chamber and his pyramid that he had commenced construction before his death. In fact, he died before it was completed. But he was in there 4,000 years ago. Not sure where he is now, but I've seen where he was. Treat their horses pretty poorly actually. A lot of excessive whipping going on. And as I was entering this morning, There are some stables near the entrance. Pass by some of the horses with hooks stuck into their sides. Quite a bit of blood pouring down them. So the hooks are obviously attached to the reins somehow, which seems quite cruel to me. Some of them go at quite a gallop, you know, uphill as well. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
And back down the hill we go, towards the hustle and bustle, which is putting it mildly, of the city. Just watched a little robot print out a bookmark for Elizabeth with her name in hieroglyphics, which is quite interesting. Couldn't resist. Just a little climb. Just a little way up. It's been a hard day. This is the Chinese restaurant next to the hotel, right next door, highly recommended by the hotel, and appearances can be misleading. It's not very busy at the moment, but it is supposed to be a very good Chinese restaurant. And in here for a late lunch after my busy morning at the pyramids. Same as usual. We come in usually, sit by the window, and the place immediately starts to fill up. It's happened again. I don't know what it is. Well, this looks very nicely presented. Beef with dry chili and garlic fried rice. Delicious. Well, I haven't used the balcony much, but it's been nice on the odd occasion to pop outside, see what's going on. Very, very busy nights last night, very noisy outside. Kept waking up every couple of hours. Apparently it's some sort of national holiday the last 2 days, so maybe that's got something to do with it. Hopefully it'll be a bit more peaceful tonight before I move to my second hotel in Cairo, this one in the centre of the city. And it's breakfast time again. breakfast time for all of us. Wow, just checked into my 4th hotel room of the trip. Now in central Cairo. Rooms are getting a little smaller, but the hotel looks really quaint, old-fashioned and charming. So I'm not complaining at all. Gonna venture out into the midday sun soon, have a stroll around the centre of Cairo. Wow, what a wonderful old building. "90 years old. I love it. Very charming. What a wonderful place to have breakfast in the morning. That is quite a weird painting, actually. Almost got a bit of intertextuality going on about it. Almost a bit of a peasants and a bimbo vibe. Really quite odd. Wow, the traffic around our hotel is absolutely insane. I'm hoping to get a better night's sleep tonight though. The last few nights been very noisy. Yeah, I've had 2 nights where I've had little sleep. Just crossing the Nile now, looking for a little garden of tranquility. Yeah, current hotel room, I've just checked into. The room faces the inner courtyard. Normally I wouldn't particularly like that, but under these circumstances of no sleep. Oh, that's a shame. The park I was hoping to go to is all chained up. Gates all padlocked. Some sort of construction work going on. Same applies to walking down the river. Pedestrian access ways are all blocked by workmen, surly workmen saying, no, you can't walk down there. So some sort of major development going on around here. There's a nice little river promenade, but nobody's allowed to walk along at the moment, unless you've got a workman's high-vis jacket on. This big old thing apparently is something called the Cairo Tower. Somebody's tapping me on my arm. Who can that be? Oh, my old friend Jeff. How you doing, Jeff? Honestly, you can't spend more than 5 minutes in your own space without somebody wanting a piece of you. Mind you, it was nice to see Jeff again after all these years, so that was a bonus. Somebody just coming off the bridge there, tried to engage me in conversation, tried to make out he was concerned about my road safety crossing the road, saying he has an uncle living in Wales, and a lot of his little teenage accomplices were bussing around behind me, trying to get into my bag. Oh my god, just having chips for the first time in over a week. Love this vintage retro lift. Look at this. Well, that was silly of me. Got back from my afternoon out around town and my lunch. Came back to the hotel, laid down on the bed for a rest and realised, hang on a minute, all my rooms on this trip I've booked double rooms and I've only been given a single bed. So, quick change of room, much better room, much bigger, brighter, more airy, much more pleasant to be in. Not that I'm going to be in a hotel room very much. The only drawback is it is facing a street, but there's no way it can possibly be as noisy as the street outside my room in Giza. We shall see. Got to go belly dancing now. Amongst all the pretty lights, you can see our boat, a Nile cruise. We are on board. Well, I am. With a plentiful buffet. And we're waiting for something to start.
Why did we turn around? I never noticed.